Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to episode, 85 of Magnificent Mondays. Because it's Easter, I thought I'd do a James Bond film. Christmas and Easter is the time for Bond, apparently. But so we're doing and it's a GoldenEye then. We're doing Goldfinger, the third of the Eon Bond films, and Win Grace is here. Pulling an obscure one tonight. Yes, not many people have seen this one. And Adam Gamer here is in. He was from Turkey. He said he was going to Turkey, didn't he? On his for a holiday. It should be out doing something fun, not watching this. But you're more than welcome. So I hope you're having a nice time in Turkey. Cool. I've never been to Turkey. My sister has, but I never have. Right. So before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe. Where are we? Down there. Like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Right, we should be live on YouTube. I'm presuming we are, because Win Grace and Adam Gamer are there. We should be live on Rumble. Let's refresh that, because it never comes up automatically. Yes, we're live on Rumble. And we should be live on Twitch. For some reason, it's not saying we are. Let's have a look. Yes, we're live on Twitch. Right. I'm going to say it again. Don't know why I do Twitch, but anyway, Win Grace could go for a turkey sandwich right now. So could I, actually. I like a bit of turkey. And it's Easter, and I haven't had turkey. You know what I've had for my Easter meals today? I had a bacon, egg and sausage sandwich for my breakfast / brunch. And then for my tea, I've had a pot noodle. I know how to celebrate, don't I? Anyway, right. Also, explore the description for links for stuff like merch. Says the Old Yorkshire Geek on. My books, there they are, on Amazon, Kindle and paperback. Give them a whirl. And other stuff. Links for my websites. And what else? I can never remember. Well, just have a look. There's links for stuff, and also for stuff like Spotify, my Spotify stuff, and is it Google? No, I can't remember. Amazon, whatever. Because audio versions go up on Spotify and Amazon. I think it's Amazon. Anyway, whatever. What else? Super chats and super thanks would be greatly appreciated, and become a member, and then you'll get exclusive videos, early access videos, exclusive emojis, stuff like that. Right. Win Grace says, "What? No Cadbury? No, didn't have any Easter eggs. I haven't had any Easter eggs this year." And you know what? I've been shopping today, and there were no Easter eggs to be seen anywhere. I thought they'd be on sale. Nope, I got rid of them all. Probably take them all into the back to save for next year. Unbelievable. Right, so Goldfinger. Let's get some info about this film. It's from 1964. Back in the days when they could bang out a James Bond film every year, because Dr. No was 62. From Russia with Love was 63. This was 64. Then we had Thunderball in 65. Then they had a gap, because You Only Live Twice didn't come out till 67. But and then they got another one out in 60. Was it 68 or 69? On Her Majesty's Secret Service. I can never remember. Anyway, whatever. Used to bang them out every year. Directed by Guy Hamilton. Screenplay by Richard Maybaum and Paul Dean. Obviously based on the book Goldfinger by Ian Fleming. I think it was the 7th Bond book. But this is the third film. Starring Sean Connery, obviously. Honor Blackman as Pussy Galore. Gert Frobe, or is it Frobe? Don't know. As Auric Goldfinger. Shirley Eaton as Jill Masterson. Tanya Mallet as Tilly Masterson. And Harold Sakata as Oddjob. Also appearing, we've got Bernard Lee as M. Desmond Llewellyn as Q. Lois Maxwell as Moneypenny. What's his face? I forgot his name now. Cecil Linder as Felix Leiter. We'll go into that as we go through the film. I'm looking for the cast list, see if I've missed anybody out. And many, many more. There they are. And many, many more. I think I've got mostly every. I thought I said Bill Nye then, but it didn't. Right, so this is the quintessential Bond film. This is many people's favourite Bond film. It's up there. It is. It is really, really good. It's when Bond hit its stride. This is like the third season of Next Generation. This is when the Bond film hit its stride. He had his gadgets. He kind of had gadgets in from Russia with Love with his briefcase that had all the stuff in it. But he had proper gadgets in this because it had the DB5 with all its accessories and all that stuff. Didn't even peep a peep. I have no idea what that means. Gert better cause massive confusion when people call out to him in the grocery store. I don't know. Oh, yogurt. Oh, yes, in America. We call it yogurt here. But yes, all pointing to the dairy section. Yes, we know. We won't get that without because we just say yogurt. Because we're civilized over here in this part of the world. But whatever. I always remember when Spaceballs came out. I think I've told this story before. When probably, I don't know. Have we done Spaceballs? I can't remember, but whatever. We had on the BBC. They used to have a movie review show called Film whatever year it was. So this will be in film 86, I think, something like that, or 87, when Spaceballs came out. And it used to be hosted by the late Barry Norman, who were a film critic. And for some reason, he didn't want to pronounce yogurt. Remember the Yoda character called Yogurt? He wouldn't pronounce it like that. He just says, and they've even got a character called Yogurt. And I thought, no, it's pronounced yogurt. That's how they pronounce it in the film. They're doing yogurt. Because he were an idiot. But you don't have peeps for Easter there? No, I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea what you're talking about. I don't know what peeps are. Apart from people. Hello, peeps. That's what Harry Enfield used to say. But no, is it some sort of chocolate? I have no idea. Right, let's get on with this film, shall we? I'm finished, have we? It had a budget of $3 million, which I think is more than the first two films combined. I could be wrong. Probably am. Box office was $125 million, so it did pretty well, didn't it? Apparently, it made its production budget back in like 2 weeks. It was massive, was Goldfinger at the time. Right, so we'll get on with this film, shall we? They're basically just marshmallow covered in sugar and shaped like a baby chick. Oh, right. No, we don't have those. We don't have those. Not that I've noticed. Oh, pardon me, burping. Pot noodle burps. Right, obviously we'll not be watching the film because YouTube had gone mental. We're watching it in a series of stills. Hang on. I've already watched... Just a minute. Where is it? I've already watched there's my Blu-ray box set of all the Bond films. I've already watched the Blu-ray. I've also got it on DVD. Bear with me. I've also got it on DVD. There it is. The good old Goldfinger DVD, which also has great special features on. I did record an audio commentary, but I haven't rendered it yet. So that'll be for members only. That was fun because my microphone packed in halfway through and I didn't notice for like 15 minutes. So I had to go back in and record like a 15-minute chunk, and it's noticeable. Anyway, whatever. So that'll be coming up tomorrow for members only. An my unofficial audio commentary for Goldfinger. I think I keep wanting to say Gold member. Gold. Anyway, where were we? Right, so I'll make myself teachy tiny. By the way, is my audio okay? Because I had to faff about with my settings when I re-recorded the audio commentary. I had to faff about because I did it on my computer. I had to faff with the settings in what they call it, Audible. I used Audible to record the audio, and so if you can hear me okay, fine. If you can't, well, tell me. Right, so I just put myself down in the corner, and we'll get on with this film, shall we? And try to learn what information I have gleaned about it. Right, full screen this baby. And off we go. Hang on, wrong thing. There we go. Add to stage. There it is. Right, here we go. Is it going to come on? Is the lion going to come on? There it is. There's good old Leo. Off we go. Right, so we begin. Looks like in the first two films. That's not Sean Connery. It's Bob Simmons, stunt supervisor Bob Simmons, pretending to be James Bond. They didn't get Sean Connery to do it until Thunderball. Why? No idea, but they didn't. Anyway, so we begin. And the first time we have a pre-credit sequence that's got nothing really to do with what comes after, really. I think it's supposed to be Mexico or somewhere in Latin America, but I think it's supposed to be Mexico. Hang on, where are we? Bear with me. And James Bond is going to arrive in a peculiar way. I don't know why. He needs to have a. Maybe we see a seagull there. Swimming across the water, but then we see it's James Bond with a dead seagull on his head. Why not just swim under the water and then come up? Why bring attention to yourself by having a seagull strapped to your head? I don't know, but anyway. So up he comes. See, gadgets to begin with. Look, he's got a gadget there. Where's that rope coming from? Coming from over his shoulder, not out of the gun. How bizarre, but never mind. He takes that fella out and heads into these big. They look like gas containers or oil containers. I think the gas. What they call them? I can't remember what they call them. They rise up and down when you fill them up with gas. They rise up, don't they? But anyway, but it's not. It's some sort of Bond villain lair or something. It's got the Ken Adam design there, hasn't it? The big circular thing in he loved big circular things in the ceiling, didn't he? Did Ken Adam? But anyway, apparently it's some sort of drug lab. So James Bond's putting explosive putty on these red barrels. So if it were a Goldfinger the game, you'd be shooting those to blow them up, wouldn't you? Anyway, so off he goes. Takes his scuba diving suit off to reveal the white tuxedo underneath. And there it is with the red carnation. Bond versus Heisenberg, yes. Is it a meth lab is blowing up? Anyway. And he goes into this bar. And there we see, I can't remember her name, but she were in From Russia with Love. She played, can't remember the other character's name as well. I'm hopeless. I am a blooming hopeless. Right, I'll tell you just a minute. Just a minute. Where's the blooming cast list? Where are you? What have I done with you? Hey, just talk amongst yourselves while I sort this out. I saw it then. I saw her name. Nadja Regine as Benita, but in From Russia with Love, she played Kerim's girl. Kerim was the main goodie, the fellow that helped Bond. He died, didn't he? Not long after filming completed. He never got to see the film, did he? Yeah, so she's being cast again. Obviously, the producers liked her. They brought her back for obvious reasons. Anyway, right, so he's checking his watch, and we're going to see a big explosion. That looks cool, but that doesn't really, does it? Whatever, it looks okay. It's 1964, for God's sake, Steve. Anyway, somebody goes running out, and then he talks to. He's got his eye on Bonita, by the way. But he's talking to this fella at the bar. There you go. He won't be using heroin-flavoured bananas to finance revolutions. That's what he's been doing, Mr. Ramirez. But we never see who Mr. Ramirez is, I don't think. And this is obviously one of Bond's friends. Don't know his name either. But he's going to go and spend some time. The only connection to the main story. Bond's going to Miami. So he's going to talk to Bonita, going to have relations with Bonita. Here he is. So they're going to start kissing. And he's got really good eyes as James Bond, because this fella's coming. Originally, this fella with the cosh was supposed to be played by somebody else. But the chap that was cast as this bad guy, this henchman or whatever, were a cat burglar. And the night before this scene was to be shot, he was caught red-handed and they were in the clink. So they got this other fella in as a stuntman. Can't remember his name. And the makeup person said, "You can look like Mexican because you've got high cheekbones." So there we go. So here he goes. Hang on. He sees his reflection in her eyes. Is that possible? It's good. James Bond's amazing, isn't it? So he spins her around. So there we go. She gets battered round the back of the head with a cosh. They have a bit of a fight. Chucks him in the bath. Hang on, where are we? There we go. He's in the bath, but reaching for the gun. Chucks in the lamp. Electrocutes him. Obviously, in real life, they're not really electrocuting him. But they are. You see all this steam? This is actual steam that they're shooting up through hoses. And the hose sort of like got really close to his leg or something. And he got burned really nastily. So this grimace is an actual grimace of pain because he got like 2nd-degree burns or something. Did the stuntman? But anyway, shocking. That's what he says. Really shocking. And then oh, we've got to, haven't we? We've got to. Let's go back a bit. There we are. We've got to, haven't we? Come on, YouTube, let us have this little bit. It's the Bond theme, isn't it? It's the Bond theme. Hello, Justin. Happy Monday. I've never been a fan of the Happy Mondays. That's a band, in case you didn't know. Hope all is good. Yes, it is. It's super. Although I'm a bit gassy tonight. But anyway, right. So we're into the opening titles for Goldfinger. Not by Maurice Binder. I think the first Dr. No, I think the titles were designed by Saul Bass and I think animated or whatever by Maurice Binder, weren't they? The second film, From Russia with Love, were Robert Brownjohn, and this one is Robert Brownjohn as well. And then afterwards it would be Maurice Binder, all the way up until GoldenEye, when they were replaced by Daniel something or other. I can never remember his name. Anyway, so here we go. So we're seeing Bond's adventures projected onto Margaret Nolan, who we'll see in the film as the character Dink, but we'll see his adventures to come and past adventures. And anyway, so that's what we're doing there. She's Margaret Nolan. She's very voluptuous, as you can see. Right, so we're seeing all this going on and seeing the cast and crew. We're getting a glimpse of his DB5 with its rotating number plates acting as her teeth or her mouth or whatever. There is a one bit with a golf ball. I hope I've gone past it. The producers really liked it. I'm guessing Cubby Broccoli. It's this one. There we go. See the golf ball? Because we see somebody playing golf, don't we? And I can't remember who. What do we see playing golf? Oh, it's major scene in the film, isn't it? James Bond plays golf with Goldfinger, doesn't he? What am I talking about? You know why? Because I was thinking of Sylvia Trench playing golf in Dr. No. But anyway, we see this golf ball go straight down her cleavage, and apparently one of the producers, I'm guessing could be Broccoli, there, really liked that for some reason. A dirty old man. It won't have been Harry Saltzman because I never liked Harry Saltzman. It was weird. But anyway. Justin says, best Bond film, the best overall Bond ever to me. Personally, my personal favourite Bond is Dalton. It was a lot like the book Bond. I've never read the James Bond books. Never read them. And I've got them on I've got an old Kindle. I think it's in here. Bear with me. I've put it somewhere safe. I don't know where I've put the bloody thing. What the hell's in here? I've got a drawer that's full of stuff. It's got remotes and leads. And I think it's in here. Don't know, it might not be. I can't feel it. What's that there? What's that there? No, it's not in there. I've put it somewhere safe and I don't know where I've put it. Can't close the bloody drawer now. Never mind. Anyway, where were we? Yes, we're carrying on with this. I'm more of a James Bond Jr. guy. But Connery is the GOAT. Looking forward to this. Last night's WrestleMania was horrible, except 2 matches, kind of a downer. It ended on a downer, didn't it? But it was supposed to, wasn't it? It was all right. I didn't mind it. The Women's World Championship match, triple threat, that was amazing. It was nice to see Becky Lynch back, although the match itself wasn't that great, was it? But he was all right. I didn't mind it. If I'd paid for it, I'd have been bothered. But anyway. Right, where were we? Back to the film. Right, so we're getting there. There goes title song sung by Shirley Bassey, music by John Barry. This was the first Bond film that John Barry was given free rein to do whatever he wanted. And he says it's his favourite because of that, because it was the first that he could do whatever he wanted from beginning to end. So he's really fond of it for that. And it was also Michael Caine, one of the first people to hear the tune for Goldfinger. Because John Barry and Michael Caine and Terence Stamp used to share lodgings, and he played it on the piano for Michael Caine. Justin says that theme, Windgrace, was fire. Yes, EO Sky. Yes, and Drew McIntyre and Damien Priest. Yeah, that was a good match as well. I like Damien Priest. I don't know. They should give him a good push, because I like Damien Priest. He's got great charisma and stuff like that, and he's, I like him. Anyway, Windgrace says, can't wait for the Bond Robocop Stargate crossover coming mid-2000. Oh, no, it's almost here. It could happen, you never know, because they're all owned by Amazon now, aren't they? Who knows? We'll see. Anyway, right, where were we? Right, we begin. She hits that high note and holds it for a bit. Nearly passes out, this Shirley Bassey, doesn't she? Apparently she had a corset on or something, or a tight bustier, and she had to take it off to hit that high note. Let's have a listen. I think it's about here. She's going on blue and green. Didn't she? And then she faints. Tom Jones did a similar thing, didn't he, in Thunderball? Anyway, right. So we're at Miami. Welcome to Miami Beach. There's the Goodyear blimp. We're at Miami. By the way, Sean Connery never set foot in America during the making of this film, even though most of it's set in America. But anyway, so here we are at some hotel. There's Felix Leiter, played by Cess Linder. They did want Jack Lord to reprise the role, but apparently wanted too much money, so they said bugger off and cast Cess Linder, who's nothing like Jack Lord. But never mind. There's Margaret Nolan, who we just seen with things projected onto her. She plays Dink in this. We don't see much of her, but anyway. Off he goes. Sends her off with a slap to the bottom. Say hello to Dink, and as you can see, she's very voluptuous. Sends her off with a smack bottom. Wouldn't get away with that these days, would you? Anywho, where were we? Justin says the priest could be a new age Undertaker type. Yes, he is good, and Drew is also Drew Barrymore. Drew McIntyre is really good. I'm surprised he isn't a film star. He's got film star looks, hasn't he, Drew McIntyre? It makes me bloody sick. But anyway, is Doink also here? Speaking of wrestling, you mean Doink the Clown? I think Jones did faint. Yeah, I like Jack Lord. Yeah, he was good as Felix Leiter. But he asked for too much money, apparently. So they got Cess Linder in. Anyway. Only David Hedison and Jeffrey Wright have played Felix Leiter more than once, haven't they? Anyway, so he's here, is Felix, to say that M's been in touch with the CIA and asked asked James Bond to keep an eye on somebody. Auric Goldfinger. There he is, played by Gert Frobe, Theodore Bickle, and somebody else who I can't remember. Auditioned for the role, and the screen tests on the Blu-ray and all that. The screen tests of them, and Theodore Bickle's a great actor, but I don't think it goes well. Am I back? When Grace says, "Did we get hit for 2 points?" Am I back? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Am I back on? Am I back on? Let's have a look. I think I might be. My internet went off. Yes, my internet went off. Unbelievably. But we're back. We're back. Right. Thank God I don't have to start it again. Thank God it's continued. Oh, that were close, wasn't it? That were close. Right, so I've just got to do this again. Just bear with me. Got to share my screen again because that's gone off. Right. So hopefully we can continue. Right. Did we get hit for 2.7 seconds of the song? Asked Win Grace. No, my internet went off. My internet hub thing is up there. It's got a light on it, and that just started flashing for some reason. So I think it was my end. That went awry. But Win Grace and Justin are both saying yes. Both saying yes. I'm going to double check on my phone just to make sure. Just to make sure. Oh dear. There's always something in there. You might hear my voice. Yes, we're off. We're back. We're back and running. Right. Anywho, I forgot where we were now. Yes, Gert Frobe. Yes, Gert Frobe. They saw him in a German film because he hardly speaks any English. They saw him in a German film where he played a bad guy in that, a serial killer. and they wanted him for the role, and they sent a message to him or something, or to his agent or whatever, saying, "Does he speak English?" And they said yes. And so they went and arranged a meeting, and he came up and came up going, "Hello, how are you today?" And they thought, "Oh, good, he can speak English." And then they started trying to have a conversation with him and realised he hardly spoke any English at all. So anyway, so I'm guessing he spoke his lines phonetically or whatever. Although Honor Blackman said so he spoke his lines in German, but I don't know. But it were overdubbed mostly. There's a couple of lines of Gert Frobe speaking in it, but most 99.9% is Michael Collins, not Liam Neeson's character in that film. He was overdubbed by Michael Collins. Anywho, right, so that's that. Here he is, Auric Goldfinger. What he called something else in the books, or am I thinking of something at somebody else? I don't know, but anyway. Right, so here he is now. It's where we learned that he's a cheater. He's been playing cards, poker, or whatever. I don't know, gin, I don't know. With this fella called Mr. Simmons. Who's Mr. Simmons? Don't know, but Goldfinger's ripping him off. This is where he is making out he's deaf. He saw he had a hearing aid thing in his ear, and he's saying, "Let's double it. $5 a point." So he brings out that, and he says, "Did you say $5?" Trying to make out he's deaf. But he's not deaf, he's cheating. Anyway, so James is onto him straight away. Notices, looks up there, and he sees what's going on. So he takes this poor girl, takes her key, says, That's Mr. Goldfinger's room. Oh, sweet. Says, "Yes, I know." Anyway, so in he goes. This is where we meet Jill Masterson, played by Shirley Eaton. There she is. I met her at a convention about 10 years ago, something like that. Obviously, I know she was an old lady by then, but she was still very nice. I got her autograph. Anyway, so she's pair of binoculars and a radio, and she's looking at his cards and telling Goldfinger what he needs and what he's got and all that stuff. There you go. Great binoculars, aren't they? But anyway, so obviously interrupts there. She is very beautiful. I think I say in the commentary, I don't think her collars and cuffs match, which is a James Bond quote from Diamonds Are Forever, isn't it? But anyway, she's still very beautiful. Anyway, so he's going to put a mockers on Goldfinger's plan. Little does he know, it's going to cost Jill her life by messing with Goldfinger. So he tells him start losing and all that, or he'll go to the police. Did you sing Old Lady to the Goldfinger tune? No. Oh, to Shirley Eaton because you were an old lady. No, I didn't. She was very nice. At that same convention, I met Shirley Eaton. I met Valerie Leon, Madeline Smith. Who else were there? It was a busy day with that. I think also, I forgot his bumming name now. He played Clytus in Flash Gordon. Also Jason King. Him met him as well. It was a good convention with that. I enjoyed myself. No, not Sam Jones, the fellow that played Clytus. It'll come to me. Never mind. He's passed away now. Anyway, so he was going to tell him to lose $15,000 to Mr. Simmons because he's very rich, obviously, because he's called Goldfinger and he loves gold. Anyway, so there we go. So, and obviously she's happy about it because I imagine he doesn't treat her very well. Just has her sitting there in her skimpies, doing his bidding. And he's breaking his pencil. Look, he's cross, and it's going to cost her life. So they're going to do it. There you go. With some lovely food there that they've not touched, it seems. So they've got a bit of salmon there with loads of salad and other stuff. Where's the chips? Get some chips there. And I mean, what you call fries. We call them chips. Some chips on that plate. Anyway, so there we go. They've been canoodling and all that stuff. We're listening to the radio, and apparently the president is this said relieved or but satisfied? The president is entirely satisfied. We don't know what with. Don't know what with. Okay. Anyway. Right, so Felix phones him up and says, I can't go to dinner, I'm busy. So they're going to carry on doing that. And I mean, how could you resist? Anyway, says, going to go and get some more champagne. And this is where he mentions the Beatles. Says, drinking Dom Perignon 53 below 38 degrees. There we go. Or listening to the Beatles without earmuffs. Well, me. You got to remember, he's an old fart, isn't he? He's even older than a boomer. But anyway, so he gets a judo chop to the back of his neck. There we go. Judo chop. There we go. So he's knocked out. And we see a silhouette of Mr. Hyde. Somebody in a... I don't know. It's classed as a boat. It looks more like a top hat silhouette, doesn't it? That wherever it is. Where's it gone? There it is. But anyway, so we learn that that's odd job. Anyway, when he comes to, he goes back into the bedroom, and with the famous image, here she is. There she is on the bed, covered in gold and quite dead, and that rhymes. I should put it in the song. And she's supposed to be naked, but she isn't. That's why they put a cushion there to cover that she's actually got some skimpies on. But she says, yum, fish and chips. We call them chips, but only when with fish. Because you're mental. Love fish and chips. Fish and chips and mushy peas. Mushy peas are amazing. Right, so anyway. So there she's been painted completely from head to toe in gold. Every inch, every part of her skin is covered in gold, which has killed her, which is nonsense, but never mind. So anyway, so he phones up Felix and says, the girl's dead. And he says, what, Dink? He says, no, Jill Masterson. She's been covered in gold. Anyway, so then he's flown back to London to speak with M. There's M. Bernard-Lee. And this is where he says, she was completely covered in gold, so her skin couldn't breathe, so she died, which is, it's nonsense. That's not true whatsoever. But anyway, so technically he got her killed, and this is where M says, I think you're a bit too close on this now, Bond. 008 can replace you. Says, no, I want to do it myself. So, he's gonna they're gonna do some look into Goldfinger a bit more. Pass on the peas. They're mental. That's mental. Mushy peas are amazing. They are. Anyway, and there's some banter with Moneypenny, who shows that she can throw a hat just as well as James Bond does. Hang on, have we gone past it? No, she does it in a minute. There you go. She's going to take his hat, look, and look, she can do that just as well as James Bond. You're a malt vinegar man. Oh, yes, some malt vinegar on, salt and vinegar on, and some mushy peas. Maybe a pickled onion or two with fish and chips. And, slice of bread or a tea cake, buttered, and a pot of tea. Can't go wrong. Anyway, that's by the by. I bet James Bond's never had fish and chips in his life. I bet he hasn't. Anyway, so James Bond's got to come back for dinner with M and a guest at 7 o'clock or whatever. Right, so here we go. Right, so here we are with I've got his name, Smithers, I think his name is, this character. Yes, Smithers, played by Richard Vernon, who you may know, recognise, who played Slarty Bartfast. He's been in loads of other stuff as well. I recognise Slarty Bartfast in the TV version of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Anyway. He's a gold expert, there he is. And guess how old he is in real life when you did this. It looks, I don't know, 50s at least, doesn't it? At least he's in his 50s. He was, when this were filmed, when this were released, so he was even younger actually when this were filmed. When this was released in 1964, he was 39. 39 years old. Unbelievable. Hard life. It's, it's gone through the war and everything, hasn't it? But anyway, so they're talking all about the gold and stuff like that. Colonel Smith, they're giving the lecture. Oh, there's a little talk about brandy, or is it sherry? I don't know. I don't know the difference. But learn all about gold and how most of it is in Fort Knox. Blah blah blah. Anyway, and that Goldfinger has a license to refine gold or smelt gold or whatever. They sent him the script for Fish and Chips, where he says, I don't understand it. Yes. Much like Lord of the Rings. Oh, pardon me. Tell you, I'm still... That pot noodles sitting heavy. I should have had fish and chips. The average age of people at this table is 40, probably. This was, I believe, the first time they used a part of a hair unit for Connery. The first two, he was okay. Yeah, I do mention that in the commentary I did. I was looking at his hairline and thinking, that looks like a hairpiece he's wearing. But for the trivia I have, yes. But I didn't know if this was the first time. I didn't know if they'd done it in the other ones, but it's very noticeable in this film, in certain shots. Anyway, so they're on to Goldfinger. There it is. They're going to use this bar of gold to get his attention. Obviously, it's some Nazi gold, worth £5,000. I don't know what it'd be worth these days, but back then it was worth £5,000. And so he's going to go down to Q Branch. It's the first time we see Q Branch and Q in his element, rather than him just appearing in M's office and handing out gadgets. Is down in Q Branch watching things going on. And Desmond Llewellyn originally wanted to do this scene, showing Bond loads of respect and being in awe of him because he's 007, and all that. But Guy Hamilton said, no, you don't like him. He doesn't treat your equipment with any respect, and so you don't like him. So show that. So, be all uppity and huffy with him. So that's where that came from Guy Hamilton. And we see a thermos with a built-in hand grenade. He jumps like bloody hell. Watch this here now. Watch this. They're going to test out this machine gun on this fella. Watch Desmond Llewellyn jump. What are you expecting it? I don't know, but you're ready. Anyway, so thankfully that bulletproof vest worked. What if it hadn't? Bloody hell, that'd have been. Who'd have thought it, wouldn't it? What's going on in the back there? What's in that van? I don't know. Is it just the? Is it the catering van? I don't know. But anyway, right. So we're introduced to the DB5, the David Brown 5. I was today years old when I learned what DB stood for. David Brown, one of the original owners or something of Aston Martin. So here's the good old DB5. They bought two DB5s from Aston Martin and then started to bang holes in them to fit all the gadgets and stuff. And I wondered why did they have to do it to actual DB5s? Couldn't they just make get a chassis or something of another car that was similar to a DB5 and just make a shell that looked like it, I don't know. But anyway, they didn't. They actually chopped up actual DB5s to put all the gadgets in. So we're going to learn what it's got. Rotating number plates. There we go. Which was Guy Hamilton's idea, because he kept getting parking tickets in London, and he said he wanted wished he could change his number plates so he'd get away with not getting parking tickets. Just don't park where you're going to get a ticket, mate. But anyway, whatever. What else? A transmitting device called a Homer. It's got a big one that's magnetic and a small one that you can put in his shoe. There you go. So it gets in the car. We see it's got essentially a sat nav. It's got although I don't know whether there weren't any satellite navigation satellites up there. But what's going on up here on this? Is that the choke? It must be the choke. Fast, rich, start. I'm guessing that's the choke. Remember when cars had chokes? What else is going to show him? There's some more gadgets in there. Defense controls. There's an oil slick and machine guns and stuff like that. Bulletproof screen, smoke screen, and left and right front wing machine guns. And then he's going to show him about the ejector seat. It's only got 4 gears. Look, bless it. Take the top off, and you'll find a little red button. Whatever you do, don't push it. Why? Because it'll release this section of the roof and activate the passenger ejector seat. That's what he says there. Ejector seat? You're joking. And this way it utters the immortal line.
I never joke about my work,
007. Great stuff. So off he goes. Also had other gadgets that we never see in the film, but actually put on the car. It had like on the fenders, you call them fenders, don't you? We call them bumpers. On the fenders, I don't know. It come out on. I can't remember what they call that, retractable. It used to come out for bashing other cars. Also had the tyre shredders. We do see that, but it didn't mention that there, does it? The tyre shredders. Also, it could release like metal spikes, to burst somebody pursuing them, their tyres. What else did it have? It had something else as well. A weapons tray under the dashboard with a gun in it and a knife and stuff. And a phone, a radio phone or whatever, in the door. But we never see any of these. Anyway, right, so going to the golf club. This is, I forgot. I forgot. Hang on. Stoke Pogis Golf Course. That's where we are, in Buckinghamshire. No harpoon, I'm afraid. No harpoon. Anyway. Right, so we're at Stoke Pogis Golf Course, which is owned, we learn later on, by Goldfinger. What's he sniffing? Oh no, he's wrapping that out. I thought he was sniffing something. Right, so we learn that he can't play. He's ready to play and cheat again at somebody. But Mr. Bond here is going to take him on. So, how do you do? How do you do? Right, so they're going to go and play golf and for money. And so we learn he cheats about at golf as well. Oh, and that's where he's shows him the gold, and he's willing to bet that. So he says he can get more of it because obviously Goldfinger's interested in the gold. He wants to know where he can get more. So anyway, it's worth $5,000. Right, so they're off playing golf, and he's going to cheat. Uses he loses his ball, and there you go. And obviously, he cheats and gets another ball out. And James Bond's got him rumbled because he's found his actual ball. I think it's a Slazenger 7. And he swaps it for another one. They get to the final hole, and he swaps Goldfinger's ball, and Goldfinger doesn't notice, and they carry on. And it says, "Oh, you're using a Slazenger 7. This is a Slazenger 1 or something. You must have switched balls somewhere on the last fairway. So we play strict rules, so you lose, mister." So he's not happy. Oh, look, he's cross. So they go back to his Phantom 3 Rolls Royce. James Bond puts his electric locator homing device thing in there. There you go, Phantom 3 from 1937. So we're going to pay him a check. But he says, don't interfere in my business, Mr. Bond. And he says this is twice our paths have crossed. So he obviously knows it's him that will be behind the Jill Masterson thing. But he says, odd job, show him what I can do to you or whatever. So he's not going to cover James Bond in gold. He's going to throw his hat at him. It's a kind of bowler hat, but it's kind of a square one, isn't it? It's more like a cross between a bowler hat and a top hat. It does say in the trivia what sort of a bowler hat it is, but I can't remember. So I shall have to do hat. How many hats is in here? Oh, hang on. There we go. Just bear with me. It's here somewhere. It's here somewhere. Come on, you hat. Where is it? I should have picked space hat. There we go. That should find it better. Odd Job's hat is a flat crown bowler hat, according to James Bond Wiki. Flat crown bowler hat. Right. So anyway, here it goes. He throws it at this statue, and I'm guessing this statue has been used as a demonstration more than once because it seems to have a reinforced arm. But anyway, here it goes. Let's have a listen to the sound. Because in the commentary I did, at the end of he used it at the end of the film, and I say, is that an actual person doing the sound effect going, whew? Because it sounds like it. Let's have a listen. It is. It's somebody going, whew, in it. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, as you can see, this head falls off and nearly knocks that arm off. There we go. So I'm guessing it's been used more than once as that statue for a demonstration. Probably Owen Wilson. Who the hell's Owen Wilson? He's that actor, isn't he, Owen Wilson? Yeah. Anyway, does he do sound effects? I don't. Oh, yes, because he goes, whoosh, doesn't he? Yeah. Anyway. Yes. With his weird nose. But anyway. Right, so he's got they've got a check for $5,000 as Goldfinger, and Odd Job crushes a golf ball with one hand. And but anyway, it's going to follow him now with his super duper homing device. Did Q tell him what range it had? I don't know, but anyway, he keeps finding him. Right, so they're at an airport. Apparently, this is Southend-on-Sea Airport. They're getting in the. I don't know. Is that a jumbo jet? It looks a bit small, doesn't it? I don't know what it is. Might be. No, has it got propellers? Or is that? Oh no, that's something else, isn't it? I don't know. Anyway, so he's following him to Switzerland. I think it does show the where he's coming from on the map. There we go. Southend-on-Sea, which is down south somewhere. Near London. Obviously, I've got a friend who lives in Southend-on-Sea. So you might see her house. But there we go. Southend Municipal Airport. It says there. Look, there's a nice little. Almost looks like a pentagram, doesn't it? So it's probably evil. Right, so they go to Switzerland now, and we get some cool. Obviously, they're not in Switzerland; they're on a soundstage, aren't they? But we get some cool scenery of Switzerland. There they are. Filmed, I'll tell you, obviously in Switzerland, but in around the Uri area. I'm not sure exactly where that is. It's in Switzerland, but in and around that area. So there we go. Anyway, so and it's very nice. It's very nice. I've been to Switzerland once. Basel. I've been to Geneva and Basel, and it's lovely. And Liechtenstein. We called it Liechtenstein as well, and that is really nice. False teeth is the main export of Liechtenstein. It used to be. Anyway, so he nearly starts chasing somebody as James Bond, I think. Is it this bit? No, it's in a minute. Here she comes. We see Jill Masterson. She calls herself something else. It's played by Tanya Mallet. This is her last major film. I don't know if she read any others before this, but she kind of retired from filmmaking or appearing in films. In a Mustang. And he almost chases her, and he says, "Discipline, Bond," of 007. And then suddenly they're on the dirt road. But anyway. Right, so Goldfinger stopped at this roadside vendor, which seems very precarious, but anyway. And James is watching him from above, from this I wouldn't stand very close to this edge. Look, I wouldn't stand there. A gust of wind, it'd be off, wouldn't it? But suddenly he's really close. Look, this other shot. Let's go back again. There we go. It's bloody miles away, look. There. And then the next time you see it, he's not there. He's almost on top of him. Unbelievable. That's where Will Ferrell falls off in Austin Powers. Oh dear. I'm really very badly hurt. Anyway, we did Austin Powers, didn't we? A while ago, the first one. Anyway, so he was watching Goldfinger down there, and then we see a gun appear, and obviously this is a terrible shot because she nearly shoots James Bond, as we'll see. Pew! There we go. It's obviously rubbish. He looks up and smiles. Does he realise what's going on? I don't know. But anyway, they drive off, and then James Bond goes after Tilly, and then he gets his Beau de Seer, there we go, wheel spikes that come out. Obviously, this wasn't filmed on the road. This was filmed in the studio. They didn't actually fit the spikes on the actual road car. They just did it in the studio for this sequence. There we go. But anyway, she goes off the road, look, and she would bash her face in here, wouldn't she, in real life? There we go. This is long before airbags were a thing. All the teeth had come out and everything. But anyway. In my audio commentary that I did, I do mention that she reminds me of somebody, and I couldn't think who, and I settled on, she kind of reminds me a bit of Terry Farrell. Get another look at her. But anyway, but before that, James Bond comes over. Oh, a double blowout. I'd never seen that before. Never mind all the side of the cars all, ripped to shreds. But there you go. Anyway, gives her a lift to the nearest gas station or service station. Oh, there she goes. She's calling herself Tilly Soames. So he takes her for a lift. Anyway, she does a little bit like Terry Farrell, didn't she? Who played Jadzia Dax in Deep Space Nine. Oh, she was in Hellraiser 3 as well, wasn't she? And she's been in a TV series, hasn't she? That I can't remember the name of. A little bit. Anyway, right, so it's still... looks very obvious, doesn't it, that hairline? Anyway. Still tracking Goldfinger, look. Who's heading to... looks like he's heading, I don't know, Stansstad or somewhere. Yes, Becca, that was it. That was the name of the show. See, I'd never seen that. She looks a bit like Terry Cross with a young Pulaski. You're obsessed with Dr. Pulaski. She does a bit, yeah, I must admit, she does a bit. Probably around the eyes, maybe. Right, so he offers to give her a lift to a hotel or whatever, but she declines. And off he goes in search of Goldfinger again. They are at Auric Enterprises. So it goes into the woods. I'm not sure where the build. This is obviously in Switzerland somewhere. You can tell with the scenery. There it is. I said, if you get the chance, go to the Alps, the European Alps, Switzerland, Austria, Liechtenstein. On a lovely day like that, it's beautiful. It is. It is. I've got a photo of me. See if I can find it. See if I can find me in Liechtenstein. Wrong one. Very good. Come over here. I'm going to indulge myself for a minute if I can remember where I've put the bloody thing. Where have I put my photos? Because this is going back to 1990. I've got a photo, a folder somewhere called, I don't know, Europe Holiday 1990, something like that. It's not there. I don't think, not that I can see. Where have I put them? Because we're live and I don't care. Hang on. Winger says, hang on. Justin says, yes, she does. Look a bit like Terry Farrell, I'm guessing. I stand Pulaski and Jonas. Justice for Jonas. Ah, yes, we were all fully functioning people in 1990. Yes, I know. I'm old. I'm old. Don't have to remind me. I know I am. Anywho, where's these photos of me before I had grey hair? What am I looking for? Pictures. Pictures. Black Tulip. No, it's not that one. That was a pub I used to go to. It's not there anymore. Well, the building's there, but it's not a pub anymore. Where the heck have I put them? I've seen them somewhere. Which folder have I put them in? Let's try there. We could be here a while looking for these. We could be. Nope, not in that one. Oh, never mind. Doesn't matter. If they were easy to find, if they'd put them somewhere sensible, it'd have been an easier job. But I'm an idiot. And I don't have things in order because I'm stupid. About that one. We'll try this one. This is the last one I'm going to try. Oops, press the wrong thing. Nope, it's not in that one either. Or is it in? Is it in there? No. I did have them in our folder. It's kind of like Europe 1990 was the name of the folder, and I've lost the blooming folder because I'm stupid. Or it's in an obscure place. I've got that many external hard drives. Let's try this one. Yeah, found it. There we go. Right, where's the picture of me in Liechtenstein? It was the same holiday. We went around Europe on a train where I got my piece of the Berlin Wall. Is that going to pop up there? Yes, it is. There we go. That's me in Liechtenstein with my Skid Row t-shirt on. There I am. Before I had grey hair. And there's the Alps behind me. And it was a really hot day. There we go. Next to a fence. What else did we get up to? That's me getting my piece of the Berlin Wall. That's I think that's Liechtenstein again. I think probably Berlin Wall, the Brandenburg Gate. They're my two mates I went with. There we are in Paris. I think we're up the Eiffel Tower there. Berlin Wall, the view from the Eiffel Tower. Liechtenstein. They're not in any order. Liechtenstein again. There it is. Very, very scenic. Anyway, whatever. That's I think that's Munich. But anyway, there we go. Thank God I found them. Anyway, where were we? Right, so James Bond is going to infiltrate Auric Goldfinger's factory. There he is. And we learn that his gold Rolls Royce is not just a gold Rolls Royce just for the sake of it. He's actually using it for smuggling gold. They're going to essentially melt down his Rolls Royce. So anyway, there he is in... obviously, this isn't in Switzerland. It's, the Pinewood... officers and other parts of the Pinewood facility. Pardon me, Justin says Skid Row, nice, good band. Yes, they were. When Sebastian Bach was singing with them. Right, so here he is sneaking in. There he is up a ladder, and he's watching them. See, they're melting down. They're taking the Rolls Royce to bits and melting it down, and that's how they're smuggling the gold, and he's in cahoots. There you go, with Burt Kwok. Or is it Burt Kwok? I don't know how to pronounce it. Famous British Asian actor who's been in other James Bond films. But Goldfinger's in cahoots. They're supposed to be Chinese. They're in cahoots with the Chinese because 60s were the height of. I don't know what did they. I don't want to say yellow peril, even though I've just said it, but when China was asserting itself on the world stage, wasn't it? But anyway. It says, that's what I like about Europe. Quick hop, and you're in another country and don't take long. Yes, yeah, pretty much. Like I said, we went round Europe in 1990. We went round Europe on a train because we were young enough back then. How old were I? 23. We were young enough to get what were called an interrail ticket for like young people. I think you had to be up to 25 or something like that. You could get like a rail ticket. They could go all around Europe on the train for free, essentially. You just pay for this ticket. It cost like about, I think about £100, £100 or something like that. You could take any train you wanted, mostly. So we started off in Norway because we got a ferry. We got a ferry from Europe up to Bergen in Norway, and then we got the train down into Sweden, well, down to Oslo, and then across into Sweden, then the ferry over to Denmark, and then we went down into Germany, and then we went to East Germany, because we went to Berlin, because that's where I got my piece of the Berlin Wall. So we went down to like Munich or Hamburg or somewhere like that. And then we went to East Germany, and then we came back, and then we kind of crisscrossed. We went to Paris, and then went over to Vienna, and then went to Geneva, and Liechtenstein, and all that. And then we went. I think by this time it was like we'd been about a week, and we were fed up and wanted to go home. So we went to Rotterdam to get a ferry home, and yeah, it was all right. We had fun. Skid Row had a big hit in the movie The Prophecy. You know, is that the Christopher Walken one? I've still not seen those ones. Still not seen those Christopher Walken prophecy films. But, I'm gonna have to get round to it. Because what's his face is in them as well, isn't it? Viggo Mortensen. Is that what I'm thinking of? Or is that a different one? Anyway, right, so where were we? Yes, he's in cahoots with the Chinese because he wants an atomic device for reasons. Anyway, so he's in the woods here now, and he's going to come across Tilly Masterson, who is Jill Masterson's sister. She's out to get revenge, but she's going to get a tripwire here in her face. Anyway, James Bond stops her, says, he killed my sister, but she's not going to fare much better because Oddjob's going to take her out in a minute. So they're running away. I think this is Black Park, the woods in and around Pinewood, where this was filmed. They seem to be using, Chinese henchmen. I'm guessing they can be Birkwook. Anyway, so they're chasing them about. There we are. So we see some of the gadgets. There you go, the smoke screen. And there you go. Oh, look, she's happy. There you go, smoke screen. And then, so he crashes. Doink. And then, what does he do next? What we're going to see next? We're going to see the oil slick. Yeah, the oil slick, which, actually did work in the car. But they had to put a big vat of oil in the back of the car, which meant they had to take out the bulletproof thing that comes up. So, but anyway, so in real life, he could never have all these gadgets at once. So anyway, so off he's skidding off the road because it's oil, and then his car just blows up randomly because that's what they do in James Bond films. Cars just blow up for just as soon as they leave the road, they just explode. It must be a feature. And then what's next? They're getting chased again because you can never stop a good henchman. Just says yes, on all the first one is great. Also, the creator of Highlander wrote and directed the first one. The creator of Highlander, Russell Mulcahy, directed Highlander. Is he? Do you mean him? Or, I don't know who created it. I can't remember. Who wrote it? I've forgotten. So what Panzer? No, that was the producer, wasn't it? Anyway, I can't remember. Anyway, right. So they're chasing them through the woods. Hang on, what else? What else is happening? Oh, he uses the bulletproof screen. There we go. No shooting. A bit of oil left on it from the oil slick. Look. But she's going to cut for it in a minute because Oddjob's going to appear. Shooting at him. Look. Wonder if they do the bullets in. Hang on, where are we? In the sound of the James Bond theme. Let's have a listen. I bet they don't. But I just want to know now. Let's go back again a bit. No, they don't. Because in License to Kill, a baddie shoots at James Bond and the bullets go, but they do it in the James Bond theme. They go, so when you're watching License to Kill, listen out for that. Anyway. Is that his name? Whedon. I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it him? Right, fair enough. Anyway, that's it. I've never got around to watching them, Gregory. Right. I never got round to watching them. I shall have to rectify that. Anyway, Tilly goes running off into the woods, and Oddjob takes her out with his, I forgot already, his flat something bowler, whatever. What is the fella stood next to him going, Owen Wilson standing next to him going, doink. Don't take her head off, though, unfortunately. Base if it decapitated her, wouldn't it? But no, that doesn't happen. So she's dead. So he's not happy about that. And then he's now a prisoner of Goldfinger. And they make him drive his own car, even though the scene's got all these gadgets in. Just drive your own car. We're not bundling you. We're not putting you in the back of our car. Drive your own. They're idiots, aren't they? Anyway, so he decides they're coming in now. This little old lady lets them in. She is Alfred Hitchcock's favourite in Alfred Hitchcock's favourite scene. But anyway, so off he goes. He's gonna hit the gas in a minute. He's waiting for to use the ejector seat. Look, but he drives off and he says, "Oh no!" Instead of shooting him, he just sits there and watches him do a thing with a big red button on. And then he presses it, and out he goes. But he don't go very far, does he? No, he only goes there. Surely he's fine. Might have some grazed knees or whatever. Don't know, but he don't get up again. Maybe he does, and we don't see it. But anyway, he drives off. They have a chase through these factories and stuff, which is cool. They're all shooting at him. Drives through some barrels and stuff. It does a bit of Starsky and Hutch here, doesn't it? I think it's this bit. Yeah. And so he was driving about, and then he gets bamboozled. In a minute, there we go. Gets bamboozled by his own reflection. Even tries shooting at it. He's like a gorilla, isn't he? And instead of just stopping, he just carries on driving and crashes. Hang on, I've missed it. Where is it? There we go. Crashes into that wall because he's an idiot. Apparently, this was the second take. They did it previously, and the stunt driver went too far into the wall. Apparently, in the trailer, you can see that. I don't know if I included it at the beginning. I don't know. Let's check. Oh, I can't be bothered. So anyway, so he's being captured now. There we go. And they were smiling at the mirror that bamboozled James Bond. Pride of British intelligence. Anyway, right. So now he's strapped to a table in Goldfinger's lair. And that's where he does the famous line, "Do you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. But we're going to show a laser. Sorry, laser. And an industrial laser, apparently. He's going to cut James Bond in half with, but very slowly. Activate the slowly moving laser beam." So he's going to leave him to be slowly bisected by the laser. And there we go. You expect me to talk? Hang on, here we go.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Cool line, isn't it? We've all said it at some point. Not in anger. I mean, copying that. Just make sure we're still going. Make sure everything's okay. Yeah, we seem okay. Yeah. Right. Anywho, right. So it is. We've got to think quickly now as Bond, because he's getting a bit worried. And then he's talking to Burt Kwok, whatever. Who did appear? He was in Doctor No as well, wasn't he? He was in Doctor No. He often plays East Asian bad guys in everything, to be honest, in the 60s and 70s. I think he's most famous for being, Kato? Clouseau's erstwhile sparring partner in the Pink Panther films. I think that's what he's most famous for, isn't it? Anyway. Right, so he says, Operation Grand Slam. He says, words that you've heard, you don't know what it means. He says, well, you've got to be sure. And, but, somebody will come after me and all that and blah, blah, blah. So they decide, pardon me, not going to cut him in half with the laser. In the original script, and I think in the book as well, it was a circular saw. I thought, no, it's a Bond film. We're having a laser. Light amplification by stimulated emissions of radiation, as opposed to a maser, which is microwaves. But anyway, so they shoot him with a tranquilizer gun that works really fast. There you go, really quickly. Right, then he wakes up, and this is where we meet the lovely Honor Blackman as Pussy Galore. She was 38. She was older than Sean Connery when she did this. One of 3 Bond girls that were older than the James Bond at the time. I can't remember the others. I know Monica Bellucci were older than Daniel Craig. I think Monica Bellucci is the oldest Bond girl. I think she was 51, wasn't she, when she was Inspector? There's another one, and I can't remember. I can't remember. Could be Maud Adams. Not sure. But anyway, so here we are. My name is Pussy Galore. I must be dreaming. His original line was supposed to be, yes, you are, but what's your name? Decided to go against that and just said, I must be dreaming. Right, so we learned that she's Goldfinger's personal pilot, and she also has a circus. Pussy Galore's Flying Circus or whatever. Not Monty Python's, Pussy Galore's. So they're taking them to Kentucky. They're going to Kentucky, aren't they? That's where they're going. And so it's testing her, mentioning Grand Slam. She doesn't react, and there we go. Real plane. By the way, that model, there we go. That model gets used again at the end of the film, but different livery. They use the same model for the end of the film. They're in a different plane. Right, so he's going to go get changed. It says his black attaché case. What's my attaché case, with me stuff? It says, was damaged when examined. So I'm guessing that is one of the same attaché cases that he had in From Russia with Love. Remember the one that had the gold sovereigns in and the knives and stuff? But when you opened it without twisting turning the lock or the catch, it had a booby trap, didn't it, that exploded in your face. So I'm guessing they did that. So there's probably a henchman with all talcum powder in his face. Anyway, so he's not got that one. So he's getting changed now, but they're spying on him, and he's finding the spy holes, easily covering them up with stuff. There she goes, she's spying on him. So he's covering things up, and he's putting his homing device in his shoe. Why wasn't it in there anyway? Don't know, but it's in his shoe. And then he squirts the shaving foam. It's missed it. Hang on, there we go. Squirts the on the spy hole to bamboozle her. And there he's all nicely changed into his grey suit. And now a bit of foreshadowing. He's warning her that if they fire that in this, it could go through the fuselage, and he says we'll get sucked out into hyperspace, not hyperspace, outer space. I think he says that. Pass through me the fuselage like a blowtorch through, but we'll be sucked into outer space together. The plane's not that high, but technically they'd be blown out, wouldn't they? Wouldn't the wind grace? They'd be blown out, not sucked out. But never mind. It's outer space. They don't go to outer space till Moonraker. But anyway, right. So they're off to Kentucky. Meanwhile, Leiter and Emma on the phone, and they're still tracking him. They know where he is because of his thing in his shoe, and is in Kentucky now. There you go. Pussy Galore's Flying Circus. Anyway, so here they are. But as I said, Sean Connery never went to America. All his scenes, supposed to be in America, were filmed at Pinewood or somewhere in England on location. I don't know why he never went to America, but he just didn't. There's her girls flying the planes. Anyway, this is where we learn that some of these, well, we don't learn, but some of these pilots, I think all of them maybe, they couldn't find women pilots, so they just got male pilots and stuck blonde wigs on them. Not that you can notice really, but that's what happened, because you can't really tell. But out they come, and get ready for to take somebody's eye out with those, won't she? But here they come. Kind of remind me. I said this in the audio commentary that I did as well. For some reason, they remind me of the Angels from Captain Scarlet. Dun 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 dun. You know that Captain Scarlet. Remind me of the Angels. Harmony and what was it? Harmony, Symphony, Rhapsody, and Destiny. Why did she have a different name to the others? I don't know, but she did. Right, so he's in Kentucky. So obviously John Barry's playing Kentucky-style music. Why? Ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-a-ding-ding. So they're at the Oryx Stud, where he's got another one of his secret bases, and they're going to shove him in a jail cell. So here he is. He looks out the window, and I think what if it rains? The rain will just come pouring in. Maybe it doesn't rain there, but anyway. So he's got to sit there waiting now. Meanwhile, Leiter and his friend, they're still tracking him. He's gone to KFC in Kentucky. My son had KFC today. I didn't, as I had a pot noodle. Goldfinger's hosting some hoodlums. I think they're supposed to be like, gangsters and mobsters, probably to do with, the family and all that, They're all very stereotypical. They've been helping Goldfinger get what he needs, because he's going to rob. He's telling them he's going to rob Fort Knox of its $15 billion worth of gold. So he's going to show them. They can either take their money now, something like $10 million something each now, or they can stay and help him and they get even more. There we go, because they're going to rob the gold depository at Fort Knox. There we go, $15 billion in there. But didn't Die Hard? Will it Die Hard with a Vengeance? Is it that one? Yeah. Didn't that tell us that there's more gold in New York at the Federal Reserve than at Fort Knox? Is that true? I don't know. But anyway, whatever. Right, so he's showing him his that cool Ken Adams set with all things sliding about and models and all that stuff. And anyway, Bond's got to try and get out, so he's doing stuff. He's teasing this fella. And then he's going to disappear and he's going to escape, obviously. Right, so he gets out and he's going to go and spy now. Because he's a spy. There he is. Luckily, underneath the model, there's a nice little thing underneath Fort Knox so he can watch what they're doing. So he knows what's going on now. And this is where these canisters of knockout gas, that's what he says anyway, that'll incapacitate people for 24 hours, but I think it's actually deadly nerve gas. But he's telling them that, there we go, complete unconsciousness for 24 hours. Don't know if it's like that stuff that they used in Close Encounters, but I don't know. But there we go. 007 to CIA, aerial nerve gas precedes dawn raid Fort Knox. Luckily I had a piece of paper and a pencil. Tomorrow, I'm guessing that says, I was going to say. So he wraps that note around, he takes his thing out of his shoe and wraps that note around that. Because luckily, this fella, Mr. Solo, I don't know if his first name's Han or Napoleon. Does he have a first name? I wonder if it says. Or if it's just Mr. Solo. I don't know. No, it's just Mr. Solo. Martin Benson, Mr. Solo, the lone gangster who refused to take part in Operation Grand Slam. The surname Solo was reused by Ian Fleming. Excuse me. Oh, here we go. When he was briefly involved in creating the character Napoleon Solo for the American TV series The Man from Uncle, which led to a threatened lawsuit by Bond producers Broccoli and Saltzman, forcing Fleming to back out of the series. I didn't know that. Now I do. Yes, Hans Olo. Daniel Jackson. Oh, dear. Anyway, where were we? So he's decided doesn't want to have any part of it. I thought he were in cahoots with what's his face, with Goldfinger, so he could get out of the room, and but he's not. But he's taking his money now, so he says, okay, we'll put your gold in your car. But Pussy Galore finds James, and so he's caught again. So they put him back in a cell. Anyway, Solo and Goldfinger have gone out of the room. So while that's happening, he puts his gas mask on. I forgot his name, this character. Bear with me. Hey, Just bear with me, I will find it. If it's here. Kish. The character's called Kish, played by Michael Mellinger. Where were we? So they're going to gas them now, and I think it actually does kill them. It doesn't knock them out for 24 hours. I think it's deadly nerve gas, and it is going to kill them. Meanwhile, they're putting Mr. Solo's gold, getting his reward, because he's not going to say "May the Force be with you." But anyway, so off he goes, and James Bond. Luckily, this is happening, so James Bond can slip his homing thing with his note into. Hang on, he's done it already. There we go. Nick slips it into his pocket without anybody noticing. So, but unfortunately, it doesn't help. Because Odd Job's driving. He's going to drive him to the airport or whatever. And but it's not going there. And they're following. Obviously, they think this is James Bond because the homing thing is in there. So they're following him. And he takes him to a scrap yard. They're going past the sign for the airport and just carries on. And then he shoots not Napoleon. So it's Mr. Solo. And I thought I had a Mandela effect going on where I thought that it got him to the going to take him to a scrap yard now, a breaker's yard. And in my mind, I had this image of him waking up in the car as it was being crushed. But that doesn't happen. So maybe I'm thinking of another film. I must be. Anyway, so there we go. They're going to go to a breaker's yard. There it is. I don't know if this is in Kentucky or what. I don't know. I was watching it. I was thinking, I wonder if this is the same breaker's yard that Superman fights himself in Superman 3. I don't know. But do they know? Does this fella here operating the crane thing? So Oddjob's got out and he's walking off. Are they in cahoots with that's by the way, that's today's word, cahoots. Are they in cahoots with Goldfinger? Does he often bring cars there for them to crush? But anyway, in it goes into the car crusher and it squishes it all up into a cube. And I say in the commentary, they should have put a dummy of Mr. Solo in with loads of blood bags in, and it shows all the blood squirting out as they're crushing it. It's not a horror film; it's a Bond film. Right, so there's a cube of metal, just like in Monsters Inc. Right, so Odd Job. So there must have been there because there's a. So was it just in case this pickup truck and what they're saying, just in case one of the gangsters doesn't want to go, doesn't want to take part in Operation Grand Slam, we'll have to get rid of him. So we'll have Odd Job bring him to this scrapyard, just in case we'll have these things waiting. I'm guessing. Anyway, obviously they lose the signal because it's being crushed. So they don't know what's happened to James Bond. So they decide to go back to the stud and spy on him from there. So anyway, he's telling Pussy that they wanted to change the name. By the way, there was someone in the production that wanted to name change to Kitty Galore. so they didn't have any problems with the name, but they decided against it. Saying she's going to be very rich after Operation Grand Slam, and he says, you'll go back to England, I suppose. And he says, no, she's going to move to a little island in the Bahamas. And we see he's stroking a hand there. So I think, obviously he's got ambitions for Ms. Galore. But as you see, she takes a hand away. There you go. She doesn't want anything to do with him. There's a suggestion that, she likes women. But obviously Bond puts that out of her mind. Right, so anyway, so they're drinking mint juleps. There we go, they're going to get Bond. Lots of guards around him now. So here Bond's going to drink a mint julep. There he goes, telling him Delta 9 nerve gas is fatal. There we go. I don't know, it does, by the way, he asks for a, where is it? Here we go. Says, do you want a mint julep? And it does sour mash, but not too sweet. I would have no idea what to say if somebody offered me a mint julep. I'd just say, yeah. I wouldn't tell them how to make it. But it's James Bond. He knows everything, doesn't he? Anyway. Right, so he's telling him, they're going to kill 40,000 people or something like that with this nerve gas. But then he says he's done some arithmetic. 15 billion in gold bullion weighs 10,500 tons. It would take 60 men 12 days to load it onto 200 trucks. And he says, who says I'm going to steal it? And this is when they work out that he's actually going to irradiate the gold from in Fort Knox to make it worthless for 20-something years, 28 years. It'll be irradiated for 28 years. So that'll be until the year 2022, wouldn't it? Not 28, 58 years, sorry, 58 years until 2022. And that, so all that gold being worthless would make the gold he has 10 times more valuable. Oh, there we go. So it's just all about the money. It's not about ruling the world or anything like that. Or it's just he wants to be super rich. So, you have $1 billion and all that stuff. And he warns off Bond from telling anybody or trying to, scupper his plans, because he said, because he's not telling him where this nuclear device has got atomic device, or in those days there were atomic devices. He's not telling him where it is. So, if James Bond interferes, it could go off anywhere, like the White House or somewhere else. Anyway, so this is where we learn that Mr. Solo's in that cube. As you said, he had a pressing engagement. Anyway, right. So Pussy and James Bond are going to get down to it now. There you go. They've seen that James Bond's okay. By the way, they do know that they're there. They do see him with the binoculars, Goldfinger's, people, and they think, oh, they're just bookies spying, on the horses and stuff like that. Not really, they are CIA. Anyway, so they're going to go in the barn and have some frolics in the hay. Here we go. He's going to try and seduce her, but she chucks him in the hay. There we go. Doodly doodly doo. So a bit of back and forth. There we go. She does it again, but then he throws her. Doodly doodly doo. It's all fun and games. And then he forces himself onto her, but not really because she wants to. She's just pretending. She's just pretending not to want it, because she does in the end. And unbeknownst to us, the audience, is he's changed her mind about Operation Grand Slam. Apparently, so that's the power of James Bond's libido. Anyway. Right, so it's the day of Operation Grand Slam. The plane set off. Here they go. Above is this a filter to make the sky look darker? I don't know. Why would they want to make the sky look darker? I don't know. But as you can see, it kind of moves with the planes. I don't know why. But anyway. So they set off flying. And they're flying over Fort Knox, the actual Fort Knox. And actually, they got into trouble because whoever in charge of Fort Knox told them that to fly at 3,000 feet. Let me find the info. It's here somewhere. So I'm going to have to do a Control F again. 3,000. I don't know if it's in words. Oh, no, it isn't. I'll type in 1,000. There we go. There we go. To shoot Pussy Galore's flying circus, gassing the soldiers, which we're going to see in a minute, the pilots were only allowed to fly, excuse me, above 3,000 feet. Director Guy Hamilton recalled this was hopeless. So they flew at about 500 feet, and the military went absolutely ape. That's in quotes. I'm guessing Guy Hamilton said that. Anyway, so here they are. Obviously, I think they obviously thought that they were just knocking people out and not actually killing them. But they're not actually doing anything right now. We see the gas coming out, and we see the soldiers falling to the ground. Here they go. Here they go. They are actual soldiers stationed there, by the way. You know, the actual soldiers of Fort Knox. And they thought it were very silly, apparently. Anyway, so here they are, knocking all these people out. So there's all this spoilers. They're just pretending to be knocked out. Here, some more of them go. Look, they're on tanks and stuff. So anyway, so there we go. I think we were told 41,000 stationed there or something. So they've knocked all them out. So now it's time. This is Goldfinger's gang. All disguised as soldiers. So off they go. Although they do kind of look like Cubans, don't they? But anyway, whatever. So off they go to Fort Knox. And now we get to this bit. Hang on. Pardon me. We go through this town where everybody's knocked out. But we learn in a few minutes that they're all pretending to be knocked out. So is this being set up for their benefit to make them think that everything went according to plan? A bit elaborate, isn't it? To have a car on its side. We see a truck on its side as well in a minute. These people just ligged out. Village of the Damned style. I don't know. And you can't spell centre. It's R-E, not E-R. Anyway, whatever. So they go into... get to the gates of Fort Knox. They're not actually at Fort Knox now, because obviously they can't film there. They built a fake Fort Knox at Pinewood. But they're going to blow the gates with dynamite. It does by the way, he gets his Oryx spectrometer out. Here it is. There we go. Oryx spectrometer, which tells us toxic units per cc times 100. Maximum pollution there, but we're down there near zero, so it's safe. Personally, I'd say to a minion, I'd say, take your mask off. If you die, I'm keeping mine on. That's what I'd do. Anyways, but they don't. They just take the masks off. And so here they are. For some reason, these Chinese chaps are just dressed in their normal clothes. They're not disguised. But anyway, never mind. So they're going to blow that up. Boom! Just like that. So off in the go to Fort Knox. Is there nobody inside Fort Knox ever? I'm guessing not, because there's nobody in there. Anyway, remember the laser that they were going to cut James Bond in half with? It wasn't there just for that. It's for this, so they can use it to cut open the door. Why do they just dynamite the door as well? They're not. They're using a laser to cut it open. But you can't go wrong. We can't go wrong with a cool laser. I love a laser effect. Can't beat it. Look. Could almost be a phaser, couldn't it? But anyway, so there it goes. Cutting through the door like butter. There you go. They drag the door away. And in the go. There's nobody inside. Nobody inside. Goldfinger arrives. I think this is supposed to be Honor Blackman piloting. Doesn't show us. Doesn't show us a close-up. Arriving with the atomic device. He's got Burt Cook with him as well. There she is. So arriving with the atomic device. I'm not sure if it's actually going to blow up, like an atomic bomb, or if it's going to just be... It's supposed to be a dirty bomb, isn't it? So... Did they blow up? I don't know. What do dirty bombs do? Do they just go and just radiation goes everywhere? Or do they actually blow up? I don't know. But anyway, they're getting that ready. They're opening the vault. There's the countdown. But anyway, suddenly everybody wakes up because they were just pretending to be asleep. Look, even though they'd set all that stuff up, there's a truck on its side there. They put, I don't know. Anyway, right. So here we go. Getting ready. It's bringing into action. They're going to big shootout at Fort Knox. They're getting ready to irradiate the gold, and Bond is handcuffed to the atomic device. And they shut him in the vault. There you go. They're going to close him in the vault now. Oh, and they're shutting in Kish as well, isn't he? There he is. Of course, he doesn't care. And there he goes, getting disguised as an officer. Because it's all the shooting's going on outside now. The good guy, the cavalry's arrived, and the Chinese men are all being shot. And Goldfinger's pretending he's on our side, but then he shoots some of our side and runs off, presumably to his helicopter, and Pussy Galore are flying away. He says he's going to take the fuse out of the bomb, but Oddjob stops him because he's super loyal to Goldfinger. And he throws him over. Ah, that's actually Bob Simmons again. A 40-foot drop into, a mattress or whatever. Not a mattress, you know what I mean. Like an airbag or whatever. Anyway, so he's got to get... there you go, he sees there, he is there, landed on there. And he's got the key to the cuffs. So he's going to get over there and uncuff himself. But Oddjob's coming. There he goes, he's undone himself. So he's going to have a fight with Oddjob. Is James Bond. He actually hurt his back because it gets him in like some bear hugs and he throws him about, and he actually hurt his back. Sean Connery that delayed filming for a while. I don't know exactly how long. But his hairpiece looks very hairpiecey there, doesn't it? Again, just in certain shots, it looks very obvious. Let's say throws him about, hurt his back, and that's not Sean Connery, is it? I don't know who that is, but it's not Sean Connery. It don't look like. Is it? Is it just? No, it isn't. It's a totally different person, isn't it? I wonder if this were filmed, when he'd hurt his back. But anyway. I missed the bit where he throws a bar of gold at him. Hang on, let's show that bit, because I bet that hurts. Is it this bit? Yeah, he's going to throw a bar of gold at him. No matter how tough you are, a bar of gold hitting you square in the chest, maybe with even the pointy bit, is going to hurt, isn't it? No matter how tough you are. Maybe he's got lots of padding. Oh, dear. Right, so they're having a fight with this fella that looks nothing like Sean Connery. There he is. He looks more like... he looks like him that plays Roger Rabbit and Charles Fleischer, doesn't he, from the side? But anyway. Right, so they're having a fight. He's hurting his back, etc. There you go. They all get killed by the good guys. He's going to carry on fighting. He's going to throw his bowler hat at him in a minute, and it's going to do something. Oh, where are we? There you go. Hits him there. Why is that sparking? I've missed a bit. Where are we? There's a wire sparking for some reason. I forgot what happened. No, we haven't got to that bit yet, have we? It's, for some reason, it's skipping past it. Anyway, whatever. Oh, no, it's up there, look. I think he threw his bowler hat or something, and it hit that and caused a wire to drop down that's got all the electricity in it. So we're going to come back to that. There it is. And he's going to throw his bowler hat again. Any minute now. Let's make sure we're still going okay. Did it. Yeah. What's happened here? Hang on. Oh, sorry. Just notice me chat on. Hang on, let me check this. Make sure this comes back on. Oh, there we go. Back to normal. Successfully connected. Sorry, my chat had gone off on my thingy. We're okay. Right, where were we? Bowler hat. He's going to pick his bowler hat up and throw it at James Bond. Oh no, James Bond throws it at him first and misses. Or does he miss? Because it goes in the. Here we go. It goes into these bars. There we go. And then so he's going to go and get it. Because remember, it must have metal in it. There we go. And he's going to grab it. James Bond uses the electricity wire. I know I'm saying it wrong. And electrocutes poor Oddjob. not calling him random task. And apparently, poor Harold Sakata got really badly burned in this bit. I don't know how, but obviously there's all these sparks going off and stuff. He got really badly burned, but he wouldn't let go because Guy Hamilton had not said cut. So there you go. But, so that's the end of Odd Job. Right, so he's got to try and get this open now to stop this bomb. So he uses some gold to open the thingamabob. We're at 49 seconds, look. Anyway, these are going to get squished by the door. I haven't got to that bit yet. There you go. They open the door. This poor Chinese fella gets squished. There's a billion of them. So he gets the thing open eventually. He's wondering, I don't know what to do with it. He doesn't know anything about atomic devices. And he even just tries stopping it with his hand. Look, I don't know what to do. Do I just stop? Do I just get hold of that and stop it with that? No, that's not helping. Luckily, somebody comes along and switches it off at the nick of time. In a minute. Here he comes. We're at 10. And there we go. This fella stopped it just in time. Don't know who he is. But he stopped it on 007. In the script, it was 003. But I thought, hang on, it's James Bond, isn't it? It's 007. We should have it stop on that. So they changed it from 003 to 007. But they didn't change the script. And in the script, he says 3 more ticks and then they're being done for or whatever. He says it in a minute. Here we go. There we go. 3 more ticks. Mr. Goldfinger would have hit the jackpot. Because it originally was supposed to stop on 3. Don't know if I didn't realise that to start with. You know, you thought that it was obvious to end on 007. But anyway. Right, so it's where we learned that it was Pussy Galore contacted the CIA and told them all about Operation Grand Slam and the plan and stuff, which is why they were ready and that nobody got really gassed and all that stuff. I must have appealed to her maternal instinct, so, you know. He basically, you know, shagged her into being a goodie. So anyway, right, so they're getting on this plane. They're taking him to Washington because they're going to have, dinner at the White House. So off he goes into this plane, which turns into a model plane. The same plane we saw earlier, but painted differently. But we see that the crew's there. Goldfinger's on the plane with a golden gun. He looks nothing like Christopher Lee, does he? But anyway. So did he have a golden gun in the book? And was Scaramanga influenced by Goldfinger? Don't know. Anyway, Pussy Galore's flying the plane. So they're going to have fun and games, and then they're going to shoot the hole. There we go. They're going to shoot a hole in the fuselage. Any minute now after their fight. There it goes. And Goldfinger's going to get blown out. Oh, excuse me. Into outer space. Here he goes. Ah! Oh dear. Off he goes. So that's the end of Goldfinger. But the plane's careering down. And what's the face? Pussy's struggling to control it. But they just jump out. Luckily, they must find some parachutes or something. It's no good. Then at air traffic control, they're just watching them because this is what air traffic control looks like, apparently. I don't know. We're straight down, aren't they? Whee! And on this, we see beep, 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 beep. An ejection capsule or something. I'm guessing they found parachutes. Now, weren't they in Kentucky? Kentucky's like a million miles away from the sea. Is there a big lake in Kentucky? I don't know. But anyway, it crashes into some water and blows up. And then they see that, I think, do they see a parachute? I don't know. How have they got there? Because they're there, look, on the ground. Oh, big parachute there that they're lying on. So they're parachuted out. And James Bond says, no, we don't want to be found because we've got to shag. And then the film ends. Apparently, this is the only one. Oh, there we go. Yes, he had the gold gun in the book. Oh, right. I'm guessing you mean that. Apparently, of the Sean Connery Eon films, I can't remember how Never Say Never Again ended. But of the Sean Connery Eon films, this is the only one where it doesn't end with Sean Connery at sea with a dolly bird, I suppose. So there we go. All the others did. Yes, because Dr. No obviously ended. They were in, at sea, weren't they? From Russia with Love. They were in a boat, weren't they, at the end of that one? Yes. This one. What were after this? Thunderball. I can't remember how Thunderball ended, but they must have been at sea. And then what were after that? You Only Live Twice. Yes, they were at sea in that. Bond and the Japanese girl. I forgot her name. Not Aki. There were another one. Aki died, didn't she? And then what after that? Then he came back for Diamonds Are Forever. And they were on a sailing ship. Well, not a sailing ship, a cruise liner at the end of that one, weren't they? So, yes, there we go. Anyway, so there we go. So that's the end of Goldfinger. Cool film. Gold star. It's really good. But it says here, James Bond will be back in Thunderball, but apparently originally it said on Her Majesty's Secret Service. I don't know when they changed it. Did they change it? Because I can't remember. Because I can't remember what it says on the DVD. Can't remember. We've got an idiot here. Look, by the looks of it. Just bear with me. Bear with me. There we go. There we go. Get rid of Jeremy Morrow because he's a knobhead. Right, there we go. Where were we? Yeah, it originally said be back in on Her Majesty's Secret Service, but apparently they couldn't get the rights, film location rights for the Switzerland locations that they needed for that. I presume for the mountaintop base or whatever. So they decided to do Thunderball instead, but that brought its own set of problems, didn't it? But anyway. Yes, it was different, wasn't it? Yeah, yes, but anyway. It made a change. And all the capitals for some weird reason. Unbelievable. But anyway. So there we go. So that's the end of Goldfinger. Really, really cool film. That's it. One of the best James Bond. Not my favourite, but, a lot of people's favourite. And a really good film. Really, really good film. Right, so there we go. All done and dusted. Got to wait till Christmas now for the next one, for Thunderball. But anyway. Right. We're done. We will leave it there. What's coming up next? On Wednesday, I'll be doing... I can't remember what we're up to. My top 5 favourite films. I think we're up to 1992, I think. I honestly can't remember, I think, but whatever. So that's next on Wednesday. Thunderball was good also. Yeah, they're all good. I love all the James Bond films, but it's not up there with my favourites. But yeah. What's the face is my I forgot the name. Never mind. Where are we? On Friday, for Friday Night Appointment with Fear, thanks to Justin34, we're doing Blackwater Vampire, found footage film. So that's on Friday. That should be fun. And I think that's all I've got lined up. In May the 21st, which happens to be on a Wednesday, we're having a Magnificent Monday special, Empire Strikes Back. And I think is that all I've got lined up? I think it is. I could be wrong. But anyway, so that's what's coming up anyway. Thunderball, I go. We did Thunderbirds a while back, didn't we? Thunderbirds, I go. Love that film. Anyway, we will leave it there. We're all done and dusted. So, by the way, Goldfinger is I think the second shortest of the Bond films. Dr. No and Goldfinger, both about the same length, I think an hour and 50 minutes. And the shortest James Bond film is Quantum of Solace at about an hour and 45-ish. So there we go. Right, so anyway, we'll leave it there. We will leave it there. So thanks, Justin34 and Wingrace. Hang on. All the Connery ones were good in my opinion. I like all of them. I like all the James Bond films. Whoever is James Bond, I like them all. Right, so thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll see thee. I'm trying to find my thing. There it is. I'll see thee.